Okay, ready? Sikandar, welcome to Cupful of Stories.
Thank you, Shadi, for having me here.
Hi everyone, I am Shadi, and this is another episode of Cupful of Stories, where we share people's stories, their inspiring journeys, and experiences. If you are watching, subscribe to the channel and click the CC button below to watch the video with subtitles. Sikandar, right off the bat, let me ask you, who are you? What do you do? And where are you headed in life?
So, my name is Sikandar, and I was born and raised in Pakistan. And I completed my bachelor's and master's degree in Pakistan. And then 4 years ago, I moved to Japan for my doctoral studies. So, it's almost 4 years I am in Japan. So, now I am planning to move to somewhere else.
I see. Nice introduction. uh, we've known each other for like the last maybe 4 years, 4 years and a half,
Yes, I think.
almost.
Almost.
And you have many secrets. So today I want to reveal all your secrets. So tell me a little bit about your academic journey and how you ended up coming to Japan. What was like your undergraduate studies?
So basically, I am a veterinary doctor. So I did my doctoral degree, but I think I was in my last year when I realized that I cannot be a good doctor because I was very bad at diagnosis. Because so then I thought that okay, what should I do now? Because then I have two options that either I would choose the clinical side or the lab side, like where we do the experiments within the lab. So decided that okay, maybe the I should focus on the lab subjects. So then I started learning about microbiology. So there I got my interest in microbiology. So and then I did my master degree in microbiology within in a Pakistani university. So there I did research on virology, like viruses, like how to make. Basically, my work was related to the vaccines. So I developed vaccine for the animal vaccine. We have a foot and mouth disease, and after that, because my research was on viruses, and then I wanted to do something related to the virus, and especially the zoonotic viruses, the viruses that infects animals and humans. So then meanwhile I was looking for a scholarship outside Pakistan, so I found Max scholarship. Then although I applied to other scholarships as well, but then I got a Max scholarship and I come to Japan for yeah, and I am doing PhD in medical virology.
I see.
Yeah.
So, choosing to be like a vet doctor, like, how did you decide to be a vet doctor? Like, who made you choose this like field?
So in Pakistan, when we were in college, so usually there are like two main degrees that are very like everyone wants to do. Like one is engineering, and the other is medical side. So I wanted to. I was interested in medical field. So then so medical field, like either you can be a human doctor like medical doctor or a no, or a vet doctor. So I could not get the admission in medical college, so then I choose the vet doctor. And even though at that time I was not, I thought that I will be a good vet doctor, but later I realized that yeah, I cannot be a good doctor. So
Because
yeah.
of you cannot like do diagnosis,
Yeah, I
and maybe
think
it's a bit difficult. You have to go to the field, check on
yes.
like
I think the one reason is could be because I was, in my third or fourth year, I thought I'm not that interested in this field. That's why I moved. But I think I wanted to be a scientist from the beginning, so that's why I choose. So because that was my plan, that after my bachelor's I will do master's, and then I will do PhD, and then after that I will work somewhere in a university where I will do my research. So that was my plan. Even if when I got admission in veterinary university, but still my plan was to be a researcher somewhere, not a doctor.
I see. And how was your family reaction when you wanted to pursue veterinary at the beginning? Were they on your side or?
I think they wanted me to try again for a medical college. So because usually if you could not make it once, then you had like other chances, like you can apply, you can try next year. But then I was hesitant. I said no, I don't want to waste my like another year, because I was not sure either I can get admission or not. So that's why I thought, okay, I will go with the uh,
Switch.
yeah, to veterinary field. And then because I think inside I was actually thinking that I wanted to be a researcher even when I was in a college. So even if I would have got admission in the medical degree, I would have pursued like research side, not the medical, like the hospital or clinical side.
I see. And you changed so from veterinary to do research, and you pursued your master degree in the field of microbiology.
Yes.
Which university was that?
The university name is University of Veterinary and Animal Sciences. That it is located in Lahore. That is the main city of the Punjab province. So
Was it the program was like only for 2 years, 1 year?
yeah, so master is in Pakistan is all everywhere is 2 years. Yeah, so it was for 2 years.
I see. And then after that, finishing your master degree, what did you directly move to PhD, or did you spend some time like teaching or?
No, because when I finished my master degree, so I applied for the scholarship. So the process was lengthy. So I had time. So I work in a university as a lecturer, because I got a position in one
The
of the
same university?
No, it was a different university.
What was that university?
So the university name is the Virtual University of Pakistan. So as it named Virtual University, so there is like everything is online. So the lectures are online, and even before pandemic, that university, like we deliver lectures online, and but students came to the university just for the practical classes.
What kind of topics you are teaching?
So I was teaching students the microbiology, like bacteriology, the related subjects like bacteriology, like how to do microscopy, staining, and these kind of like basic experiment with the microbiology.
I see. Very interesting. And how long did you spend like teaching? Like 2 years, 1 year and a half?
No, because I think I worked almost 7 to 8 months. Yeah, because then I had to come to Japan, so that's why I resigned from the job. And yeah, but that is another interesting story.
I see. So after finishing your master and teaching, and now you started looking for scholarships to move to study abroad.
Yes, yes.
And tell me about this experience. How was it like
About the scholarship, like how
about
I
the
got.
scholarship?
Yeah, so I was not, because I was not interested in going to Japan. Maybe I did not know anything. So basically, because in Pakistan, so usually most of the students, especially the medical field students, they wanted to go to. Everyone wants to go to, like US, like English country, like UK,
English-speaking countries.
English speaking country. So I was also applying for that. But then one of my friend, he asked me to, he said, let's apply for the for MEX scholarship, that is for Japan.
So you were at the same time, you and your friend, you were applying
Yeah.
for the same scholarship.
Me and my friend.
And how did you hear about the mixed
Yeah,
scholarship?
he told me, my friend,
told you.
one of my friend, my class fellow, he told me that let's apply. So he get all the information. He got all the information from somewhere, someone who he knows before. So we apply together. We send the documents to the embassy because Max has two programs. One is embassy, and the other is a university.
Embassy, embassy recommended
embassy.
and university
Yeah,
recommended.
university recommended. So I came here on embassy recommended program. So we applied at the same time.
When you
but-
sent your documents, you sent them to which embassy?
So-
Where was the place of the embassy? Do
We
you
have we have two embassies in Pakistan. One is main is in Islamabad, and then other is in Karachi. So Islamabad is the capital of Pakistan. So I sent my documents to Islamabad because this is near to the Lahore where I was living at that time. So we sent the documents.
and this was the first screening, like sending the document
Yes. So
to the embassy.
Yeah. So embassy screened the document, and based on that, I don't know what is the criteria, but they call some of the selected student for the written test. So I got selected, but my friend who pushed me, he did not get
Oh,
selected.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't tell your friend why they didn't select him to proceed to the next step, which is the exam, the written exam.
So and the embassy say so usually it is mentioned on the website that they will only call the selected candidates. They will not tell the reason why they did not get selected. They did not select the other students. So they did not explain anything to my friend. But yeah, and also I still don't know why they selected me, because even though my friend has better grades than me.
So it's not only about like GPA.
Yeah, I think it depends on the maybe the research plan, or also I think one thing that me, because before when I was sending documents to the embassy, I had two acceptance letter from universities.
Maybe this helped you like to
Yes.
strengthen
Yeah,
your
yeah.
documents and pass the first screening. I see. So you got accepted at the first step of the mixed scholarship, which is passing the document screening. The second step was the written exam, and there is, I think, like two exams, one in Japanese, one in English.
Yeah, so they
Did you
asked.
go to the embassy to do the
Yeah,
exam?
I
or-
went to the embassy, so where I took exam, and then there I only filled the English exam, because the other one they said you just need to write the name, and because
So Japanese is not required.
Yeah.
Just like write your name, and
because at
if you
that
know something, you can just.
because at that time I did not even know anything about Japanese. Although I don't even know, but that time I was not. I was not familiar with the
You
Japanese.
mean the Japanese language?
Yeah, Japanese language, not the Japanese people. Like Nihongo.
I see.
Easy peasy, Japanese.
And after the second screening, which is the exam, also they called you. You passed the exam.
Yeah. So the same day when we had the exam, so the same day they called the shortlisted, the successful candidates for the interview. That is the next step. So next day we had an interview after. So yeah, I went to the embassy for interview.
It was like face to face.
Yeah, face-to-face interview.
Was at that time Corona time or?
No, it was before Corona, because I applied. It was, I think
Maybe at the
2019,
beginning? 2019.
March.
March,
Yeah.
not yet.
Yeah, because the pandemic started by the end of 2019. So
Yes.
yeah.
And when you went there, were there people like from the embassy or some professors to ask you about like your research?
There were 5 people. So 2 were, if I remember correctly, 2 were Japanese, and then 3 were Pakistani.
And
Yeah.
what kind of questions they asked you?
Because they did not know anything about my research, so they did not ask anything about my field. There were general questions like, why did you like Japan? Why? Although I was lying at that time. That's why I like Japan. I said, I like anime, I like this, even though I did not watch until. So
So
yeah, these kind of like
it's a
general questions.
white lie just
Yeah.
to pass the final screening.
Which everybody knows isn't true, but Mama said it's just a little white lie, so it wasn't hurting nobody.
Yes.
I see. And after you finished the interview, how long did you spend to hear from them? Like you were accepted and now it's time to go to Japan?
So once embassy recommended you, then I think after the interview they spent like 1 or 2 months, I guess. So they sent us the document where it was mentioned that you got selected by the embassy, but now you need to get the admission from Japanese universities. But I already had two universities.
So after you passing the interview, you have to start looking for universities. And here, I believe you started like contacting many
Yes, yeah,
universities.
because,
What kind of universities did you
yeah.
contact?
Because when I was applying, I had two acceptance letter from university. But then once embassy recommended me, then I started looking for another university. So I got, I think, almost 5 universities, admission letter from 5 universities. Like
What are they?
I think one Hiroshima, Osaka Prefectural University, not the Osaka University, it was another Osaka Prefectural, and then Yokohama University, Kobe, and Tohoku University. Yeah,
So Tohoku was on the list.
yeah. Although I
Was
got,
it,
yeah,
was it one of the final like selection?
yeah. I think because then we after getting the admission letter, we have to list 3 universities. So like so I gave Tohoku University first preference, and then Yokohama second, and Hiroshima third. Hiroshima or Osaka Prefecture.
When you were contacting the universities, were you like reaching out directly to professors or like assistant professors or associate professors?
In my case, I was I was always contacting the professor, not the assistant or associate professor, because someone told me that the professor has the authority to make a final decision about the student, either because and I also heard that in Japan at that time that only professor
without the professor approval,
Yeah.
like you cannot come to their lab.
Yeah.
But I also think sometimes professors are very busy in the lab, and maybe you will send them an email and they might not reply. So that's why if you send to like assistant professor or associate, maybe they have a little bit of free time.
No, because in my case, I was actually in contact with some of the people, not from Japan, from other countries. Some of the who they instructed me that you should send email to every professor at least 9 a.m. in the morning. So because between Japan and Pakistan there is 4 hour difference. So I was always sending email 5 a.m. in the morning Pakistan time, and then here in Japan it was 9. So I think I was always sending at 9 a.m. So I got like response from. I applied to many universities and I also got some rejection, but I got some.
5 acceptance.
Yeah, but I got
letters.
many rejection also. So.
I see. So you chose Tohoku University at the end and you came to Japan. But I wanted to ask you before that, how many people were chosen at the end by to come to Japan from Pakistan that year?
I guess we
Was-
were
I know, like-
15 to 17 students when we came here.
The numbers are different from each country.
Yeah.
Like maybe from your country 17 to
15 to 17, I guess.
Like in Syria, when I came, they chose 10 people. So it differs from one country to another. I see. So you got the final news that you're coming to Japan, but something happened, I think.
Yes.
What happened?
So I was, as told you, that I was working in a university. So my flight and everything was scheduled for March 2020.
And you already resigned from your job.
Yeah, I already resigned from the university. I thought 1 month before I coming to Japan in March 2020. So I thought that I should spend more time with my family, because then 1 month before I resigned. So I went home, and the day I arrived my home, I heard that because it was pandemic time, so the flight was cancelled. No, not the flight cancelled. Actually, I think the Pakistan, like my country, they were not accepting the airline like flights, but Japan was at that time they were allowing.
Like because Corona,
Yeah.
many flights were cancelled
Yes.
and like quarantine, and
Yes.
the whole world was a mess.
And
We have a
then-
new name for the coronavirus. The World Health Organization has officially called it COVID-19. Co for corona, Vi for virus, D for disease, and 19 because it started last year. The
and
name.
then we have to wait for 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah. So
And during
that was a hard time, I guess.
were you doing any part-time job?
No, I just spent 6 months with my family, and but I was actually looking for other scholarships at that time, because
Because you thought maybe we
Yeah.
will not get to Japan.
yeah, I was not sure at that time that either we will be able to make it or not. So that's why I looked for another scholarship. I applied to Australia and France. So I got accepted in Australia and also in France. Yeah, but then because from French university, they were very active in terms of like processing the document and everything. So
So you got selected by a
French university. Yeah.
And you got all your documents. And
I got all my documents. I got my student ID, and they asked me, okay, now you need to, because it was September 2020. So in August, they said, okay, you need to submit your passport to the embassy for the visa. And I went to the French embassy. I submitted my documents, and then my passport. And then I think after 1 or 2 weeks, we heard from our Toku University that, oh no, you can come to Japan. So then I went to
you rejected the...
then I went to the French embassy, and I took back my passport, and I said, I am going to UAE for visit. I mean,
You didn't tell them that
I did
going
not tell
to
them,
Japan.
but I told my professor, French professor, that why I am not coming to France. So she understand, because she said no. For her it was fine. So because she was the one who was in contact with me from that university, so I told her everything, like exactly.
I see.
Yeah.
And the French university, what kind of... I know you were doing microbiology in your master degree, but what was their field, the French university?
The field was virology, but the research was a little bit different, because they were working more on therapeutic, like the treatments of drugs, like drug delivery. So they were, but because my previous research was related to the vaccines. So this one in French university, it was related to the, like when we gave drugs, they were using some vectors. Through those vectors, they were administering for the better drug absorption within the body. So they were doing
Make it
something
more efficient.
Yeah, more efficient. Like they were doing research on cancer and these kind of research diseases, but it was more like a pharmacology. Yeah, pharmacology.
I see. So you rejected the French university.
Yeah.
You betrayed them.
No, I told
They gave you student ID.
No, I told the professor and and she said, yeah, it's fine. So you should decide which is best for you. So you don't need to worry about like betrayal or these kind of things. So if you feel that Japan is the best place for you, you should move to Japan. So
I
that's
see.
why
And then you got your visa to come to Japan.
Yes.
And you came from which airport in Pakistan?
from Islamabad
Islamabad.
to
Direct
I
flight?
went to UAE, And the UAE to I came to I think Narita. I guess. I
Narita.
forgot.
Was it like a very long flight?
Yeah, from Islamabad to UAE, it is I think 2 hours flight, and then from UAE to here it was 11 hours flight.
I
But
see.
I had a very long layover, like almost 17 to 18 hours in
Oh.
UAE.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I see. And you came to Narita airport, and at that time, still like Corona, still going.
Yeah.
So you had to stay at a quarantine facility.
Yeah, we were. We stayed for 2 weeks
2
in
weeks.
the
In a hotel.
in a hotel, but that was actually like
you
everything was
remember the
organized
name
by
of
the
the hotel?
university. Yeah, my stay is premier or premium. My stay is
My
premium.
stay is premium
My stay is premium.
in Tokyo
In Chiba.
Chiba.
Yeah, in Chiba.
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, for 2 weeks, and that was the like
The best.
best time of. Yeah, we were like sleeping, and then we had some Japanese classes, but it was fine.
It was like online.
Yeah.
And speaking of Japanese classes, you didn't know any. You mentioned you didn't know anything about
No,
Japan before coming,
even
and you didn't know
when
any
I arrived to my state's premium hotel, I did not even know anything about Japanese.
like
Yeah,
the
but I think
basic things.
No. I was taking Japanese classes before, like 1 week before coming to Japan. I know a little bit, but I was not sure about.
This was like the first time in your
Yeah,
life.
yeah, it was my first time.
And after 2 weeks, like you moved to Sendai,
Yes.
and we were like, when you come to through the mixed scholarship, you have a research period, and during that, I think it's valid for 2 years.
So yeah.
And during the 2 years, you have to apply for the master program or PhD program to be like a regular student. So how was that for you? Like, did you take 6 months of language course, then you applied for the
Yeah, so
exam to get into the PhD program?
yes, I took 6 months of language. Well, yeah, same course, and that was very intensive. Language
Intensive course.
Intensive, very intensive. Like we had to do homework. Like it's like you need to write hiragana and katakana and everything. But yeah, only we were just writing, like every day, like 3 hours, 4 hours of homework. We have to write, and then next day we have another class. So it was very. Yeah, I mean that time I did not start. I did not start my research, but the only thing that I was focusing on the language. But yeah,
So the language didn't work out.
yeah, it did not work because I guess that
It was
language
Mina
course,
no Nihongo,
yeah,
the book.
yeah, that is not good for maybe I was not studying well, or maybe that program is not good for beginners, because not only me, many of my friends, they
Yeah,
cannot
when you
speak
say
Japanese.
like every day you have 3-4 lessons, and next day
Next day
or
again.
after 2 days the same new lesson, it's a bit difficult to grasp everything and memorize. So
I think
maybe that's why.
Because of that, we could not. No, I mean it's been almost 4 years. I cannot speak that well. I mean, maybe I can
Just the basic things.
understand the context when the people are like speaking like Nihongo, but I'm not that good at speaking or reading.
Fluent
Yeah,
Japanese.
not-
I see.
You just ruined the punchline of my Japanese golfer joke.
So after the 6 months of the language course, you started preparing for your examination to be a regular student at the PhD program.
Yes.
Did you take an exam, written exam, or an interview? How was it?
So for medical, because my school is Graduate School of Medicine. So for medicine school, we had an interview. I mean, when I came, So I just had a have we just interview where there were some examiner. Then they asked, okay, why did you choose Tohoku University? Why Japan? Why this lab? What is your research? So they asked me some questions regarding my previous research. So those were like easy. I mean,
The reply was the same from before, like because I like anime and
no.
or
That
different.
because it was a university interview, so I just focused about I told the
The research.
extraordinary research. So I was most of my answers were related to the research. That why I choose, because I came here because of this research and something. Yeah.
Because of my passion for research.
Yeah, and also I think for me, my motivation to come to Japan, like because as I said, I had a opportunity to get for France, but the professor, my supervisor, current supervisor, because I heard I checked the university website, our lab website, and I saw that that professor research is more aligned to my previous research. So that's why I think that is one of the reasons I choose Japan over France.
Your professor is a very famous professor,
Yes, he is very famous, very busy,
especially
but very
during the
kind.
time of Corona. He was like on the panels of the organizers and
Yeah, he was one of the member of the organizing, like the committee who was dealing with the coronavirus.
I see.
Good morning, everyone. It's my great pleasure to be here to share my own idea, the own thought about what's going on in Japan, and also of what's going on in other countries. So, as you probably know, this novel coronavirus is quite similar to the SARS coronavirus genetically, but this doesn't.
After the examination, the entrance exam, was it only interview? There were like no written examination, like essays or something?
So in my case, we did not have any written exam, but I heard from some of the seniors that when they came, they had to take that written exam. But that written exam is not that difficult. It's very easy. Like they give you like 5 or 6 questions. I am not sure, but this is what they told me that, and from that you have to answer like 2 or 3.
Basically, nobody fails to
Yeah.
get into the medical school.
Yes. Only those people fail who don't appear at the exam in the written test day.
I see. Because we know some stories from other departments, like they failed the exam and they had to
Yeah.
leave Japan and go home.
Yeah, I think there is one department in Tohoku University. It's Graduate School of Engineering or something, mechanical engineering or civil. I am not sure.
Yeah,
So,
their
but-
entrance exam
it's
is very
very-
difficult. They have math, they have physics, and many different topics. And it's like there is an interview, then written test, then online test. So I'm not sure if things changed, but it's a lengthy process to get into the program.
But I think for that program, for international students, it is normal to fail once for that program. Like
This is-
4 to
this is-
5 people I know.
This,
who
this is
get
the
it.
standard.
Yeah, this is a standard. Like if you are failed once, it means you are a good student. But then you will get another chance for after 6 months.
So if you come through the mixed scholarship, as we mentioned, you have 2 years as a researcher, and during these 2 years, you have up to 3 chances.
Yes, up to 3 chances. If you failed 2 times, it is fine. You have third chance. If you failed third time, I think then you don't have another chance, and you have to go back.
You have to leave Japan. I see. So Sikandar, tell us a little bit about the lab environment. You got into which department? Virology.
So, Department of Virology. So
How was the lab environment?
So, in our lab, the environment is very international. We speak English, so that is one of the reasons I could not.
You weren't
I
required.
did not feel the need to learn Japanese because we only speak English in the lab. The environment was very good. So we
Sorry, what kind, like what internationals, from which countries?
So when I came, we have from students from Cameroon, Philippines, we have Peru, and Slovakia, Chinese students, Taiwanese, and Indonesian, and I'm me from
Oh,
Pakistan.
it's like an international
Yeah,
lab.
we have very
And you had Japanese students?
only two.
Just-
Yeah, only two Japanese, and other were
Internationals.
international.
I see. So you weren't required to speak Japanese in the lab, and so that's why one of the factors that you didn't proceed with the language.
Yeah, I think because when I started going to the lab after 6 months of coming to Japan, and I feel that because most of the time I spend in the lab from Monday to Friday, so we were talking in English, like even our meetings and everything was in English. So I did not feel the need that I should spend more time on English on Japanese.
And
language.
the professor and the assistant professors and the lab members, the Japanese, they also speak English.
Yes, in our lab, the Japanese, the graduate students, they speak English. They can speak English, and also we have some medical students. Every year we have some medical students who come to our lab for 2 or 3 months,
To do some experiment.
to do some basic experiments. So then we also even with them we speak English. They have to present their progress every twice
Twice a month.
Twice a month, yeah,
Like to make a presentation.
to make a presentation. They also present in English. So
I think this is a good thing that for the undergrad Japanese students, like if you do in English, your presentation, it can pushes you to learn more English and
yeah, I think
maybe
it's
make
a
more
good
international friends.
good thing that because eventually at the end of the day we have to write our paper in English. I mean, if you can write in Japanese, you can write in Chinese, but the point is like basically the purpose of the paper is
You can write in Chinese.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I cannot write, but people can. Like if you are Chinese, you can write in Chinese. But the point is that when you're writing in Chinese, it means very few people will read your paper. So the purpose of the paper is that more people will read your paper. So I think it's.
You
good.
mean the paper to publish, not the thesis?
No, not the thesis.
Okay.
Thesis, yeah, you can write. I know many people who wrote their thesis in Japanese but they wrote their paper in.
I see. And so the lab environment was good. And like, what kind of experiments you are conducting? Like, you are in a virology lab. What kind of viruses you are dealing with?
So we are dealing with mainly we deal with the respiratory viruses like influenza, coronavirus, and the other viruses. But also we are dealing with the enteric viruses like the viruses. There are some norovirus and rotaviruses.
what was your specialty?
Influenza.
Influenza.
And coronavirus. My research is on influenza. So
So, and you recently submitted your paper?
Yes, I recently submitted my paper.
Now
and
it's under review.
Yes, under review.
Congratulations. And also you submitted your thesis.
I submitted my thesis. I am just
Now you're relaxing.
Yeah, I am not. Yeah, I'm relaxing
Chilling.
these days. So, yeah, it's
see.
relaxed time.
Yeah. Well, 4 years.
It was a very long journey because
journey.
it was a very long journey. But for me it was. I mean, it was easy. Although it was long, but it was because I planned things and it works. I mean, what I was planning so throughout my 4 years, so my plan always works. So that's why I say it's easy. For me, it was easy journey. But, of course, there are some like
failures,
failures.
troubles, and this is everywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like coming back to the experiment part, like were you doing some sequencing?
Yes, so we collect samples from the humans who have like respiratory symptoms, and then we test for the different viruses. We have as I said, we deal with respiratory, so we see that what is the cause of this illness. And once we then we do PCR, we do sequencing, and then we analyze the data. We also use some bioinformatics tools. We create phylogeny, that from where the virus is coming from, like if a person gets infected, from where home that person got infected. So these kind of things, research we do
I see.
basically.
You mentioned that your professor is a big name, and I think you have a lot of collaborators around the world.
So we have collaborators. So we
Do you
Well,
have other
yeah,
projects
yeah,
in
yeah.
different countries?
In different countries, we have very big projects in Philippines and also in Zambia, and previously we were working in Singapore, but I'm not sure now either we have projects there or not. But we know from Zambia and Philippines we are still working on that.
And did you travel
I
like for
went to-
conferences
yeah.
or
Yeah,
during
I
your
went
time?
to Philippines for my study because my research was on Philippines.
Some regions in the Philippines.
Yeah, in some region of the Philippines. But then I went to Australia for the presentation of my research.
So you traveled to Philippines and Australia
Yes.
during.
Yeah, it was all free. I mean, not free, but paid by university.
Yeah, I mean, we will get some money to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to pay by yourself, but the university do support the students.
It's university sports, and also if it depends on how like the funds of your your lab, because if your lab have funding, then they will fully sponsor your trip. If not, then maybe the university will give us not the but some part of the expenses the university can bear, but not fully. You can.
I see. Let's talk some financials. Is it okay to mention, like when you travel to Australia,
Yeah.
the university paid everything, or
Yes, university paid.
how much was it in Japanese, like yen, approximate? Like the tickets, two ways.
Yeah,
the
because
hotel.
I am actually not 100% sure, because some of the things I did not manage by myself, because for example the airline ticket, I don't know how much they paid, because this was
By the university.
university arranged that ticket for me. I mean my lab, not the university. And then I only paid for the domestic travel, like from Sendai I went to Tokyo, and then I went to in Brisbane, because my conference was in Brisbane, so Brisbane domestic, and then the hotel. This was what I paid. I think around, other than the airfare, it was maybe around 250,000 yen.
I see.
Yeah, and also the registration fee and these kind
For
of
the
things.
conference.
Yeah, for the conference.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, because the registration fee was very I think 80 or 90,000 yen was registration fee for the conference, even though you are a presenter there.
I see. So when you moved to Australia for the conference, like everything is in English. Were you happy or sad?
I was very happy. I mean, I was not happy, but I was very satisfied, because
satisfied, the signs and
yeah, because I did not, in Japan, after living 4 years, when you go somewhere, you always use I always use
Google Maps.
Google Map. But in Australia, I checked that I found, first I went to Sydney, so I had one 6 or 7 hours, so I went outside the airport, so I went to the Sydney Harbour. So my friend told me that is a nice place. So from airport I checked which train will go, and I went to the train station. Then I did not open the map, because there were announcements in English and I was understanding everything. So it was very convenient for me to travel. I mean, domestically travel in Australia, but in Japan, still, when I go to Tokyo, we have to use Google Map.
Yeah, but Japan, of course, it's also convenient, but because of the language barrier, that's why sometimes we get confused with all the kanji and all the
Yes.
signs. But transportation in Japan is very good.
Yeah, the transportation is very good. But I was talking about the language barrier because in Australia I did not feel that.
I see.
So in terms of that, but other than that, the transportation is very good in Japan. And I mean, there is no comparison about the
Yeah.
living style between Australia and Japan. I mean, I
see.
still prefer Japan, but
Yeah. So now you are almost about to finish your PhD program and graduate. And your thesis defense, you told me next
Yeah,
month, next week.
next week I
Next
will have
week.
a
Good luck.
thesis. Thank you.
Hopefully, it will be a smooth interview.
I hope so.
Are you preparing your presentation now?
Yes, I think I am all ready.
Ready.
Yeah.
Ready to fight.
Defend.
To defend
Defend my
my thesis.
because I feel I am the only one who knows what I did, so I can defend.
I see.
Yeah, that's maybe you can say overconfident, but I am always like this when I have to present. I presented somewhere, so I always confident that okay, whatever I did for 4 years, I know what I did, so and I can defend my findings. I can defend my research. So I am not that worried about the defense. So yeah.
And are you planning to stay in Japan for a short term, or are you looking for opportunities outside of Japan?
So it depends because these days I am looking for opportunities because as I said, I wanted to be a researcher, or maybe basically I want to work in a university somewhere. So for that, I am planning
You want to
to-
be in academia.
yeah, I wanted to be in academia. I want to be in academia, but maybe I will go to English-speaking country. I am trying for USA or Canada or Australia. Meanwhile, because with the visa and this process takes time, so I will maybe work in Japan for a little time, but not for a long time.
I see. So when you were here studying like PhD, did you go back home to Pakistan for a visit?
Yeah, I visited once 2 years before. Yeah, but now I am planning to go again before my graduation.
I see. And when you went back, any culture shock? Like you've been in Japan for 4 years now, and coming back to Pakistan, how was the feeling?
I think here the environment is very clean, like even in Japan. But when I went back to Pakistan, so everything was different. But the only thing that makes me
You told me you got sick a bit.
yeah, I went. I think next day, I arrived at 12 in the night. Next day I went home, and the same day I got sick. I had like
This is the
yeah,
cost of leaving Japan.
cost of living in Japan because our immune
Leaving
system
Japan.
is leaving Japan because after living in Japan, I feel that our body is not that strong because yeah, but that's why when I went back to
Back home.
back home, so my immune system could not
Handle.
could not handle the yeah. So
I see.
What if his immune system is too strong?
And
but I think yeah, after 1 or 2 days when I got fine in Pakistan.
yeah, the Pakistani community in Japan generally and in Sendai is very big. Like I see many Pakistani people. Like when you came to Japan, were they very welcoming? You met some people.
Yeah, so when I came, so we have a very good Pakistani community in our Tohoku University and also outside Tohoku University. So, I mean, I did not feel that I am not. I mean, I'm living outside because I got very good friends. Who were my seniors who were already studying at university. So they were very helping, very kind, and they did not let me feel alone. So yeah, and I still appreciate their kindness and I learned many things from them that how to be kind with the people.
I see.
Yeah. So those were like I feel that I am very lucky that I have a very good Pakistani friends. Even still, some are with me here still, and some moves to other countries there. So yeah.
Yeah, of course, it's very good always to have a community, because many people, when they travel to Japan, most of the time they don't have anyone, so they have to start making friends, they have to mingle, they have to.
I think in terms of friends, I am always lucky. So I always got good friends. I always have a good friend, like even in Pakistan and in Japan. So I was very happy. I'm still very happy because I, yeah, because of them, I think my life in Japan was very easy.
I see. I was checking the news the other day. Like now there's around 3.5 million foreigners in Japan, and who have maybe temporary residence or like long-term permanent residency. And there is around more than 20,000 people from Pakistan in Japan. So it's really a huge number.
Yeah, so there are many Pakistanis. So of course, this number is not that huge as compared to the West, but it's still here. But the purpose, so mostly, there are like either people came here for on scholarship for their graduate study, or they some most of the people they come here for the business, like because the Pakistani community here in Japan, what I heard, is very famous for the cars business. They sell the used car. I mean, they purchase the used car and then sell it, and also they do import and export things.
Like car business.
Yeah, mostly they are involved with the car.
Are they
business.
any like Pakistani who are teaching at universities? Do you know some?
There are some. Where I know one of the professor. Uh, 2 years ago, he was working in Yamagata University and he was head of the department. But these days, I am not sure where he is. But we have, other than that, we also have some other Pakistani like teachers who like works in a different university than in Japan. We also have some Pakistani like after graduation who they started working in different industry like Toyota, Honda. We also have some. I have some friends, very close friends, who works for Toyota and Honda.
I see. Interesting. So, when you came to Japan, like you mentioned, the environment here is very clean, the transportation is very good. And at that time, you weren't very good in Japanese. And did you have any funny moments with Japanese? Like we all been through this.
I
Like,
think-
did you have any?
In terms of language, so usually I don't speak Japanese outside. So when I came and I was excited, so I was very motivated to speak Japanese. So I think maybe second and third or fourth day of coming to Japan, so we went with my Pakistani friends to eat ice cream. So we went to McDonald's. It was like in the midnight. So we went to the McDonald's and we ordered ice cream. And then my friend, he pushed me, okay, you should order. And he wanted to train me that how you will order, how you have to. So
That's
I ordered.
very nice of him.
And he asked me that you have to say thank you. So I know that it's arigato gozaimasu, but then when I went, I got the my like ice cream and I said ohayo gozaimasu, and he was I mean, even the person who gave me ice cream, he was laughing, and then my friend was laughing, but it was fine. And they say it's fine, it's already 12, so it means it's morning, so you can say
I see.
ohayo gozaimasu. But my friend said no, it's
You for real?
you have to say arigato gozaimasu, because the only difference is between arigato and ohayo gozaimasu is arigato and ohayo, other than gozaimasu. So
I see.
I think that was that I remember.
One of the moments.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I don't.
I see. So I know you like traveling a lot, and you've been to many prefectures. How many prefectures you traveled?
I think I have been to almost 35
35.
prefectures out
Wow.
of 47. Yeah, I traveled like first 2 or 3 years. I traveled a lot, except this year, like 2024. But no, yeah, I was because here in Japan the traveling is very expensive, but it's very convenient. Like especially, and I go with my friends, so we.
Do you drive?
No, I cannot drive, but my friends.
They
can
drive you.
Yeah.
You go to. Yeah, and which like place was your favorite out of the 35 prefectures?
Once we went to the in during Golden Week holiday, we went to the Kyushu prefecture for 1 week. So there I like that prefecture because there is yeah. So I think my favorite place is
Kyushu.
Kyushu prefecture. If some because
Many sightseeing
yeah, many
places.
sightseeing places. When we went there, so I realized that I made a mistake. I should have I should have got admission in Kyushu University.
I see.
Yeah.
Maybe in your postdoc.
No, I think that for me, I think it's better to leave Japan.
I see. Yeah, also like here, Miyagi has many places. And if you like hiking, like within 30 minutes, you're in the middle of the mountain using train.
Yeah, I think of course Miyagi has some nice places for hiking and also, but Kyushu has a different vibe. I mean even all of my friends who went with me, we were like very like impressed by the beauty of Kyushu. Especially we went to one place that is still one of my like the most favorite place. It's like Takachihu God that is in Miyazaki Prefecture. It's very like beautiful. It has a completely different vibe. I've never seen such a beautiful
see.
place in my whole life.
And when you travel, do you stay for a long time or just on weekend?
So usually we travel on weekend when we go like somewhere near to the Sendai. But when we have like 3 or 4 holidays, then we go to the longer. Like I go to the like distant. Like for example, when we went to the Kyushu, we have the Golden Week holidays. And then once I went to Gifu, we had the winter holidays. So when we had these like 4 or 5 holidays, and also when we had in August we have Tanabata, these holidays. So we arrange trips like this. But other than that, on weekend, I always go somewhere near to the Sendai.
I see. So you traveled many places and you visited many spots, and you tried maybe a lot of dishes and food.
Yeah, so
What is your favorite Japanese food?
my favorite Japanese food so far is I went to Osaka. So there I ate okonomiyaki. So I like that. I like that okonomiyaki, and I think that is my favorite. But because I went two times in Osaka, so but I heard some of my friends that Hiroshima also has a different style of okonomiyaki, and there is always a competition. But I have not tried
Never
the
tried.
Hiroshima one yet. So
I see.
maybe I think
Iskandar, you are a Muslim,
yes.
right? I know,
Alhamdulillah.
like when you are in Japan, like eating and dining out, going to a restaurant you don't have a lot of choices every time. The menu is very limited for you, and especially when you go with friends, you always get asked, "Can you eat this? Can you drink that?" So how is this feeling?
So I think in terms of the options, so these days we have a lot of options even in Sendai. Like you can eat any kind of food in like halal food. So we have Korean restaurant, we have Thai, we have here in Sendai we also have some Indonesian restaurants, and also even in Japanese restaurant there are a lot of options you can eat. So other than that, of course, like there is always a confusion because my friends knows that non-Muslim friends, they know that I cannot eat pork and I cannot drink alcohol. So sometimes they recommended a place. They made reservation, and then we went there, and they say, oh, you should order chicken or beef. Then I said, no, I cannot eat. He said, but you said you cannot only eat the pork, but you can eat chicken. And then I had to explain all the slaughtering method, that why. But then they say, but you ate chicken last time from that restaurant. Why not here this chicken? And then
see.
it's always, sometimes I feel like it's
You
complicated
have to
for
explain
the
every time.
for the non-Muslim friends to know that why we can eat this chicken, but we cannot eat the other place chicken. So
I see. Yeah, it's a bit complicated
Yeah.
when you explain to people, especially like people Southeast Asian, like Japan and
but I think for me, most of my friends know that because I explained to them what is halal actually. So they know that okay, which chicken I can buy, I can eat, and which meat if we can eat. So no, it's like ambiguous. But I spent 4 years, so that is one of the.
so halal options are available.
Yes,
It's not a problem.
there are many. Even in
Restaurants
Sindai,
and
there are many options.
markets.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah, speaking of food, do you cook at home? I know you are a very good cook.
Yeah, I am a very good cook. I can only cook egg omelette.
Oh,
That's the only thing that I like to cook. So because I like breakfast. I mean, for me, lunch or dinner is just like, okay, we have to eat to live. But the only thing that I like to eat is breakfast.
breakfast meal is very
Yeah, it's very important for me.
important.
So I always make but for in breakfast, I can only make egg omelette. Yeah,
Yeah, full of protein.
full of protein. So I eat and at my home, you will always find eggs. If you
I like eggs over, hash browns.
I see. So back home, how was your day? You wake up. Also, you eat eggs at breakfast.
Yeah, in Pakistan, we have multiple options for the breakfast.
What is like a Pakistani breakfast for like you find at every family?
Yeah, so in Pakistan, the tradition everyone they can eat the tea, milk tea, hot.
Drink milk tea.
Yeah. So when we say tea in Pakistan, 99% of the time it means we are talking about hot tea. We don't have a cold milk tea concept in Pakistan. Tea is always hot. It should be in Pakistan. So we some people they eat tea. They drink tea with the bread, we call it paratha or something. But the typical breakfast is chickpea curry with naan. That is breakfast. Where everyone wants to
You
they
eat the chickpea curry with milk?
No, chickpea curry with the
The
naan,
naan.
with the naan, not with the milk.
But some people they don't eat curry; they drink milk tea with bread.
With the bread. So it's and also then if you are eating chickpea curry, and you're with the naan, then we also have one very the drink we call it lassi. It's
Lassi.
made with yogurt something. So it's every people say lassi is a white wine. So when you drink lassi, you feel very sleepy. So yeah,
It's alcoholic.
yeah, it's halal alcohol.
Halal alcohol. I see.
Yeah, so,
you really say it's white wine.
Yeah, well, I think it's very even in at least in my friend circle, we always say this okay. Yeah, because when we are, for example, if you are feeling sleepy in the morning, then we were, did you drink lassi? Did you drink? It means you drink.
You want lassi, one glass?
No.
And how about? I know here in Japan, I tried mango lassi. Do you have mango lassi also?
No, maybe there is, but I have never drank mango lassi. This was my first time to see mango lassi here. We drink mango juice in the milk you add mango and then you blend it. This is what we drink. But mango with the yogurt, like lassi, we don't have this one. Mango lassi. At least I don't know. I've never drunk.
See, Multan is very famous for mango,
Yes. So
but you eat it as a fruit. You don't have mango lassi.
no, we don't have mango lassi. Like we eat it. Like usually the mango season is June, July, and August when it's extreme hot weather. So there we eat mango. We eat a lot because I lived in Multan for like 11 years. I guess. So some of my friends have their own field for mangoes. So for me, I used to eat mangoes a lot. But in the night sometime, we add mangoes in the milk and we blend it and we drink. So that's it.
I see. And when you like mention naan, is it like the big size naan or the roti? Which
So we have mostly we have a round naan, like not the, elongated
thin
one. No, the thick but the round. So the thin one we call it roti. So naan is like similar to the one we have in Japan, but in Japan the naan is elongated one. But in Pakistan we have round one.
I see. So when you go here to a Pakistani or Indian restaurant, you will see like mango lassi and elongated.
Yeah, mango lassi elongated naan. I think for me it was my first time to see a naan in with that shape. So yeah. And also the mango lassi. So that I said, okay, well, we don't have this mango lassi.
And you mentioned curry. Like, is it similar back home?
So in Pakistan, it is a little bit spicy, but I feel here in Japan they add some kind of sweet in the curry, especially in the restaurants. But in Pakistan, we have the taste. It's not 100% same, but we have a more like a spicy taste
I
of
see.
the curry.
So it's a bit different.
Yeah. And also here, what I heard, like even if you're eating chicken, if you're eating vegetable curry, the taste is always same. I don't know, maybe sometimes I feel that they are making the same base and then they are add, if it's chicken, will add chicken. And if they are the vegetable, they will add vegetables. This is what I feel.
I
Maybe
see.
I am wrong, but in Pakistan, we have a different taste of every, like it's chicken and vegetable. And
Time, and pretty recently, I drank a whole container of spicy curry thinking it was soup.
You should start some part-time job in a restaurant. You will know.
yeah, and
You will improve your Japanese and
I think I don't like cooking, basically. So I don't like kitchen things. So
I see.
maybe I cannot work in a restaurant.
At a
But my
restaurant.
friends are very good at cooking. So I always used to say that, oh, you should open a restaurant. Yeah, but
What kind of food does he cook?
I have like few friends and they can cook anything, and they are very good cook. And so that is one of the reason I don't cook, because for example if I want to eat something, and as I said, my friends are very kind, and I call them, okay, I want to eat this thing and this thing. Okay, no problem, we will make it, we will cook it, and then we cook on the weekend, and I eat it. So I think that is one of the reason that I don't.
You don't miss home
Yeah.
because of your friends.
Yeah.
They always cook for you.
Yeah, whatever I want to eat, so they can cook for me.
For God's sakes, Alan, what are friends for?
You told me before that you have like a long-term plan, which is like helping people in a way.
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit more about this?
So because I was living in Pakistan for almost 25 years of my life. So I've seen people, like poor people there. So that was from there I got motivation that I should do something to help those people. And eventually my long-term plan is that I will make a charity foundation someday in my life when I will have enough funding, enough links, and also enough funding. I mean, of course, it's not a one-person job. Maybe I will find some like-minded people somewhere. So And meanwhile, so even I think that is the one of the reason I choose medical field, and I wanted to work on zoonotic viruses that infects like human and animals, because I wanted to do something. Meanwhile, if I can start my charity foundation, so
To
I
give
can
back to the people and to the community.
I feel that we should, like, our person has the capability to do something to help people. They should do something. I think for me, the purpose of life is that we should help others, because it's a process. Like if we will help someone, they will help other people. So it's like a chain process.
It's
So,
like pay it forward.
yeah. So that is my long-term plan, but for now I have to be financially stable, and for that I will be a researcher, and then I will work. I will start someday the charity fund things.
Hopefully you will achieve this.
Yeah, I hope so. So that's why I always motivate my friend that you should be influencer, because
Business community, Pakistani business community.
Pakistani business community, they so
Japan.
actually, so I think what I heard that Pakistani community all over the world, they do charity. Maybe it's like what we learn from our society. It's not like I heard many, even from Japan, they do charity. So that is maybe what we learn when we grow up from the society, from our home. That what we do.
And we have the
Yeah.
like the concept of zakah.
Yeah, we have a zakat.
give charity
to
for
give
people.
charity. I mean, it's a part of, like, you should, if you have money, you should
Help others.
Yeah, help others. It's a part of our, I think, a religion.
Very impressive. I wanted to ask you, like, now you speak how many languages? You speak English?
I can speak English, and I can speak Urdu, my mother, and then these are national languages, and then I can speak Hindi, because Hindi and Urdu, the speaking is same but the writing is different. So I can speak Hindi, and I can read Arabic, because our Quran is in Arabic, so I can read Arabic.
Do you have any dialects in your hometown?
Yeah, so where I live, I live in Punjab. So in Punjab we have two parts. One is the upper Punjab, where most people speak Punjabi language, and then where I live is a lower Punjab. So we speak Saraiki. So my mother tongue, like in our home, we speak Saraiki.
Saraiki.
Yeah. It's similar to the Punjabi, but like not that 100% similar.
I see. And can you understand other dialects?
So no, because we also have because we have four province. So Punjab, mostly we speak Punjabi and Saraiki, and we have Balochistan where people speak Balochi. And then we have the Sindh where people speak Sindhi, and then we have the KPK where people speak Pashto. That is similar to the Afghanistan Afghani language.
I see. So you speak Saraiki, English, Punjabi, and you can understand Hindi.
Yeah. But
And
Japanese also, I can speak Japanese. Nihongo jouzu desu.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Actually, when I arrived to Japan, one time I was in a taxi. It was like in the morning. Also, similar thing. When I entered the taxi, instead of saying Ohayo gozaimasu, I said konbanwa, like good evening. So these
Yeah,
things
so-
happen when you arrive to Japan. I think it's okay. All right.
I think one incident, once we were coming from Gifu, I guess. So we were looking for a restaurant, and then one of my friends, he called to a restaurant, and then, if I remember, he said that there is a word gyu niku, but gyuniu is milk. So he-
gyuniku is like beef.
beef, and he wanted to say that halal gyuniku is available or not, and he said halal gyunu, and that was
Halal
also
milk.
halal milk, and milk is always halal. So either halal gyunu.
That's a funny joke.
Yeah, we were in Nagano at that time, then, and we had this.
I see. All right. Before we wrap it up, I want you to say something in your native language to the viewers, like 1 or 2 sentences. If you have anything,
In
please.
Urdu. In Urdu.
Urdu, maybe. Yeah. Urdu.
Okay. So I would say खुश रहें और अपने साथ वाले लोगों का ख्याल रखें और अपनी लाइफ को एंजॉय करें पॉजिटिवली.
I see. Sikandar, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on Cupful of Stories.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I actually enjoyed this conversation. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
I'm very happy to hear that. Okay, to everyone watching or listening, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for more amazing stories. If you have any thoughts, feedback, or suggestion, drop them in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. And remember, every story has the power to inspire. What's yours? Till then, see you next time.
Look, many have came before me, went through it all, still I'm here to explain my story. To go against me, you'll need a whole nation's army. And if I go out, better be in a blaze of glory. Not a minute that I slack, my mind's on the goal, every minute I attack. Until I truly own the spot, straight to the top, till it's mine and mine alone. Remove the king from his throne, snatch the crown.